Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing kind of an updated makeup routine. As we're transitioning from spring into summer, I want to do something a little bit lighter, a little bit fresher, maybe a little bit more pink and fun and just kind of brighter. Just definitely more of a summery feel. You know, something a little bit more natural, more glowy and bronzy, so maybe less natural because I have a very Irish skin tone, but I hope you guys enjoy it. This should be super fun. And we're trying out some new products. So let's see how this goes together. Okay, I'm going to start by priming my face just with moisturizer. I'm using the Peach Slices Snail Rescue All-in-One Oil-Free Moisturizer with 95% snail mucin concentrate. That is a mouthful. Let's just put it that way. But I like it because it's light and it's hydrating. I honestly have been using this mostly at night as like a night moisturizer because I do feel like it goes on a little heavy, but maybe that's just the way I've been using it. Honestly, like I'm trying things out, and I think maybe if I do a little bit less, it could work as a nice water-based primer because I don't like to mix water-based and silicone-based makeup because it tends to make my makeup break up. And I definitely like separating, and I definitely don't need that, especially in the summertime for this summertime look. So we're trying it as a primer. I do already have sunscreen on, which is important to start your day off with, but that should be good as a primer. As for foundation, I'm actually not even going to be using a foundation because I do want this to be light and skin-like and good for the summer, you know, when it's hot and humid. I don't want anything too heavy. And so I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter Glow Booster for Radiant Skin. These names are getting so long. Okay, so this is a new product for me too. Like I said, we're trying products out. So I do have my mirror down here, so that's if I'm looking down, that's why. So I'm going to start by adding it directly to my face. I don't often recommend just adding things directly to your face. I usually like to start it like down, or like putting it on my hand and then getting it on a brush and blending it. But this product, I've used it only once before, and when I used it, I feel like it didn't build up as much as I want. And so we're going to try just adding more directly to the face, and we'll see how this works. We're learning together. Now I'm just going to blend it in with just like a buffing foundation brush. You'll notice with all of the products I use today, they're all drugstore options, which is great for those of us, me included, who are on a little bit of a tighter budget and who can't really, you know, always afford the higher end products as much as we'd like to, right? I mean, Charlotte Tilbury is calling my name someday. But right now, I think that the drugstore has fantastic options for makeup products. Honestly, I think they do. This video is going to be super fun. We're just playing around with makeup, which is honestly, I think, what makeup is for, you know, because do we really need it to make ourselves look better? No. We just, you know, sometimes like a little extra something to help us feel a little fancy. I think I am going to add a little bit. I have a little bit of redness on my cheeks, which I'm not against, you know. A little bit of natural rosiness is definitely not a bad thing, especially when we're adding in blush anyway. But I do want a little bit of coverage since we are adding blush later, and I'm really excited about this blush. It is a new one to me, and I love just how bright pink it is. So I just want a little bit more coverage there, a little bit around my nose because I do have some pregnancy-induced blemishes, which are super fun. Being pregnant is fun. The blemishes aren't as fun. I'm going to blend it a little bit into my ears and a little bit down my like chin and neck area just to kind of blend things in because this is a tad bit deeper than my natural skin tone, but we're at the beginning of summer, and I know I'm going to get a little bit darker, so I didn't want to get anything too light. Okay, I'm just going to sit here blending for hours. Is that all you guys wanted to see, was just blending for hours? That's what I thought. Okay. We tease and have fun over here. Okay, that's probably enough. I think I like that. It's very glowy. I've been wanting to try this product for a while, and I'm really liking that. Okay. The next product I'm going to use is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. Oh, I totally forgot to say. I'm using this shade for the e.l.f. Halo Glow. I'm using the shade 0.5 Fair. They have a shade match tool on their website, and you can use a foundation you already have as a shade match. And so I used the Maybelline Superstay 30-Hour Active Wear in shade 112 as a reference. And I mean, it's not bad. I feel like my foundation is a tad bit different, but it's pretty close, and I actually really like the way that shade match worked for me. I feel like it blended really, really nicely into my skin. Yeah, so for concealer, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. Now this one I do like to still blend on my hand because I just don't like, I feel like I end up always putting on too much if I just apply it directly to my face. So I'm just going to buff it onto the same foundation brush that I used. And then when I feel like when I use this technique, I put it a little bit on the eyelid too, just to kind of get the veins there. And just, it also, I like using concealer as an eyeshadow primer, but I like the way this works. I feel like it adds a little bit of highlight under my eye for the shade that I'm using, which, by the way, is shade 95 for my skin tone. I think I need a little more. And I'm kind of patting it under my eye. I don't like to use a lot of concealer because then I just feel like it creases too much throughout the day, and so I like just a little bit. I am kind of blending it across my nose, so it just kind of makes this shape under my eyes. Yeah, I think that's nice. Might put a little extra here. It might be a little bit too light to use as a blemish concealer, but that's what we're going with today. I think it's looking good so far. Okay, the next thing, I'm going to be using this buffing foundation brush for a lot of my things. Honestly, I feel like this works really well for any cream product, not just foundation. So I picked up, this is new too. This is fun. This is like, let me show you all the new makeup I got, which is a fun video too. But this is the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer in the shade Hey Honey, which is 110. And I really like this. I've been seeing around the internet using a cream bronzer and a powder bronzer, which I think, one, looks really fun to do, but also it provides a little extra bronzy glow, which I want for the summer. So I'll do a little bit more. I do buff it into my hand a little bit. That's actually a trick I learned from Allie Glines. Glines, I think is how you say her last name. I feel bad. I don't actually know. But I watch a lot of her videos. And honestly, she has a lot of really good educational stuff. Anyways, fun little fangirl moment there. So I'm adding the bronzer to my cheekbone, on my forehead, kind of into my widow's peaks, and then just kind of down the temple like this. So it just kind of all connects like that. And I think I want to add just kind of what's on the brush on my nose. Just help me look a little bit tan, a little bit sun-kissed. Then I like to, whatever's left, put it through my eyelid. Help make a continuous look. I think that's good, especially since I'll be adding more bronzer later. but a more continuous look throughout the makeup look. Make the face kind of look like it goes together. Okay, so as for, I'm going to use a pressed powder for like under my eyes and kind of in my T-zone area here. And I'm going to use the CoverGirl Clean Fresh translucent powder, which it does come with a powder puff, which I think would be great for like when I'm on the go. But for now, I'm going to use my little e.l.f. one because I like it. But I'm going to tap it into it. This has a mirror, so this is very nice. I'm going to just tap it underneath my eyes like that. Because I like, it has a nice blurring effect. I like to run it across my nose a little bit, up my forehead. And this, I feel like it is a translucent powder, but it does lean a little bit lighter. And so it kind of highlights at the same time, which is nice. It's very like bright white, you guys can see. But yes, this is what I like. Maybe a little on my chin too, since it does highlight a little bit. Yeah, I feel like that looks really fresh and really nice. I do like to powder the rest of my face, and for that, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. This is in, this is a light pink shade, which works for my skin tone. Just going to tap a little bit into the cap, shake it around a little. I like to use this like extra large fluffy powder brush. I think the brushes I'm using are from Eco Tools. I just got them off of, or from Walmart. But I'm just going to kind of use that to set the rest of the face. Because I don't think it does a lot of like blurring or anything like that. It just kind of helps to set the makeup. And then I'm going to do a little bit down my neck and chin just to set everything on my ears. This is a really soft brush. This feels really good on the face. I'm going to do my brows next. So this is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil in the shade Medium Brown. It does have a spoolie on one end. So I'm going to comb out my brow hairs that way. Now, the actual pencil part is interesting because it kind of has this like triangular shape. So I kind of like to use the thin end of the triangle, the top of it, kind of add some fill in where I need some like extra hairs, or where you don't need extra hairs, but where I would like a few, kind of even things out here on top. Let's create this shape that I want. And then I might use the whole triangle just to kind of add a little bit of volume. Not too much, because I feel like my eyebrows are already pretty voluminous and I don't want to add too much, but just a little bit of filling in, just a little, just like that. And then I take the spoolie side again and just blend it in like that. And I like to follow the natural shape of my brows because I like a natural look. Unless I'm doing something kind of fancy, I like a more natural look. So I think this looks good. Okay, for my powder bronzer, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Primer-Infused Matte Bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed. I'm going to actually use my big fluffy brush to kind of give a really bronzy glow. Kind of where I put it before, but just to add a little bit of more natural looking tan. And this kind of helps to create that wide base of bronze. Like you can already see the difference on one side of my face. I'm going to add that to the other side. I'm not going to try to go through my eyelids with this because that would be a little bit crazy with this big of a brush, but I might do on my nose a little bit. I mean, I could try. Yeah, that was a little crazy. I'm going to keep going on with blush. This is, again, another blush, a new blush I picked up. This is the Covergirl Trublend Skin Enhancer Baked Luminous Blush. Whew. These things are a mouthful. But this is in the shade Please Please Pink. Look how pretty. Well, let me open it so you can actually see. Look how pretty. That marble effect, that kind of peachy, but also like bright pink. That's what I wanted for the summer. I wanted to get a very like, I don't know, summery kind of look. So I'm going to be using the blush brush, again, Eco Tools, kind of swirl it around because it is that marbly effect. Swirl it around. I want to be kind of heavy-handed with this a little bit because I want to give like sun-kissed effect. So I'm going to start up here though because I don't want it all to be on the apple of my cheek, you know? I like this, but I think I'm definitely going to have to build it up a little bit. But the color is fun. Plus this marbly thing, I don't know. I just feel like that is really interesting. Makes doing makeup feel kind of fun. I mean, it's already fun, but this helps make it feel a little bit more fun. Gonna do some more for the other side. This is a blush. Again, I have used this once before. This is a blush I find it kind of wears down throughout the day, which I feel like a lot of blushes are that way. But this one does that, and so I kind of like to be pretty heavy-handed with it, you know, just to see. Ooh, that is pretty heavy-handed. To kind of blend it, I'm going to kind of blend it up into this area that we bronzed just a little bit, not adding any more product to the brush. And then maybe tap it a little bit and then across my nose. Because I definitely want to look sun-kissed, even though it's the beginning of the summer, to kind of give it that kind of like, I've been out in the sun all the time already. And I don't know. I don't want to lie with makeup, but and I'm going to run that on my eyelids too. Pretty. That's pretty. Okay. Now I do have a highlight. I've used this a lot. As you can see, this one is not new. I don't even remember what it's called. The L'Oreal Lumi, the glass stick, I believe is what it's called. I'll have it in the description. But this is in the shade Glassy Pearl. I'm going to take my foundation brush again and just kind of tap it in. Then just kind of tap it on the high points of my cheek. Ooh, I really like how this brush applies this product. It's a little hard to see on camera, but in person, let me see if I can get a little closer. I'm loving how it's applying with this brush. I think it is just, it's working. It gives it such like a natural luminosity, a natural glow. Oh, I love it. I'm going to put some on the tip of my nose. I do like this one. This is definitely more pearly, which I mean, for my pale skin right now, I feel like that kind of works. But I am kind of wanting to try kind of a more gold bronzy one for the summer, just to give a little bit more bronze. I don't know if it would work with my skin tone exactly, again, but we're just playing here. So I mean, if you guys have a suggestion, maybe there's a more bronzy shade of this. I should probably look. But that, I think, would be the next step to a summer routine. But yeah, I feel like that gives, oh, that's pretty. That's very pretty. I like that. I want to add a little bit on the high points of my brows. In fact, probably will do that now with my finger before we do eyeshadow. I like eyeshadow. I feel like eyeshadow has kind of gone, it's not as trendy lately as it used to be. But I like eyeshadow. I think eyeshadow is really fun. And in fact, that is what we're going to do next. Now I have a couple of palettes. I like these e.l.f. bite-sized ones. These are ones that I have. I like that there's no talc in them because talc is an ingredient I like to avoid. But I have two. This one is called Cream and Sugar. It's got like the brown and bronze, which is great for summer, but I'm also wearing pink. And so I also have this rose water one. And this one is really pretty for the pink, but I'm kind of leaning more towards this one for summertime just because it gives it more bronze. But I think I'll add a little bit of pink in there too, just to kind of match. Maybe I'll do another video that's kind of more of a sun-kissed bronze rather than like a pink. This is going to be a little bit more pink, so maybe I should do the pink. We'll play around with it. We'll start with this, add some pink in later. I do think though for the shadow shade, I'm going to use this bronzer just because I think that'll work better. And then I'm going to use a fluffy brush. I'm going to add it just in my crease with my fluffy brush. There's not really a rhyme or reason to it. It's just going to be kind of a subtle, everyday wearable eyeshadow look. Okay, and then I do have, do the shades have names? Sure don't. I'm going to use this dark brown one here. Same fluffy brush, but I'm just going to kind of keep it on the side of it and just kind of tap it in so it doesn't get overly dark, because I'm going to be wearing this, you know, during the day. And I just want to have it more on the outer corner crease, if that makes sense. I don't know. Are there technical names for the parts of the eyelid? I don't know. So I'm just going with outer corner crease. Maybe a tiny bit blended inward, but not too much. I'm going to do it on the other side. Okay, cute. Cute. Okay. I'm going to kind of take this more flat eyeshadow brush. It's still pretty fluffy, but it's kind of flat. I'm going to take a little bit of this darker gold glitter shade, just a little bit, right on the outside, that outer, kind of to fill in that outer corner crease, but on the actual lid this time. I don't want to be too heavy-handed with this because it is very gold. And this is meant to be a everyday kind of look. But I like glitter in everyday, you know? Glitter just makes things fun. Okay. Now I think what I'm going to do is do a little bit of this lighter gold shade kind of in the middle. I like to be a little heavier handed with these lighter shimmer shades because I like for them to really pop. So I think I'm going to do kind of a tri-color look. Oh, it's looking good already, if I do say so myself, my humble opinion. But in my rose water, I'm going to use, maybe I'll mix this one and this one to get a little bit of that pink kind of on the inner quarter. So just like a tiny little bit of the pink shimmer and a little bit of the champagne glitter. And put it on the inner corner just to give a little bit of the pink kind of running through. And then I kind of bring it over into the crease a little bit so we can have kind of a continuity of the glitter. I'm going to do that on the other side. I guess it's not really a glitter. I mean, it kind of is. Like there is glitter in it, but like it's more shimmery than sparkly. I don't know. I think it's nice. Okay. I think that looks nice. Now, I do want to do kind of a shadow eyeliner. I don't actually own an eyeliner currently. I haven't found one that I like. I struggle with liquid eyeliners. Like, I like a vintage look, and then liquid eyeliner is kind of essential for that, but it's just hard to find. Since I think we're going for summer, instead of a black liner, I think I'm going to use that same dark brown on a liner brush and just have it look like really, really like kind of natural looking. Just kind of add it right up against my lashes. And to not have it come too far in. Maybe a little bit underneath. I want it to look a little bit smudgy, a little bit smoked out. Ooh, I like that. That looks good. Maybe I'll add a little glitter underneath. Ooh, that would look pretty, I think. We're just playing it around, you know, figuring it out as we go. I mean, not really, like, there was a plan to this, but this eye look is kind of being figured out as we go, because it's fun. Be a little bit more. And then underneath. Okay, and then I might add a little bit of shimmer underneath because I think that would be fun. Maybe this, like that pink and champagne one we did kind of in the inner corner. I might bring it in as kind of a highlight a little bit and kind of connect the inner corner there. Ooh, I like that. I feel like it brightens up my eyes. That's nice. Yeah, this is nice. I like that. Okay. Fun, fun. Eyeshadow's just fun. It's fun to play with. Okay, now I'm going to use the LA Colors Browy Wowie. Who knows? Laminating Effect Brow Gel. It's just a clear brow gel. It's just the one I've been using. And it works, you know? But we're just gonna brush it through the brows. Again, not really a rhyme or reason to it. I like to use my natural shape. I brush them upwards a little bit. I just don't like to get too much brow gel like actually on the skin of my face. On the skin of my face. My face is skin, but like, you guys probably knew what I meant. Right there. Okay, yeah, that's working good. And then, because I like to have my eyebrows locked down so it doesn't just, you know, go all over the place. But for mascara, we're gonna move on to mascara. I like this Milani Highly Rated Lash Extensions Tubing Mascara. I've been wanting to try a tubing mascara. This one I've actually been using for a while and I like it. But I've been wanting to try a tubing mascara just because it's easier to remove, because I find that when I have to like rub it, it really like irritates the skin underneath my eyes. And so I really like tubing mascara because I don't even technically have to touch my skin to remove it, at least not the way that I do it. I just touch my, I just like rub it off of my eyelashes. But yeah, I'm just kind of taking it from the bottom and wiggling it upwards. I feel like everybody has a unique way of putting on mascara. And mine is just, I don't even know. I don't know if there's like a same way I do it every day. But this is how we're doing it today. Oh, and of course I got it right on my cheek. Good. That's okay. This is real life, people. And if we haven't gotten mascara e.l.f. over the place at one point or another in time. Have we even done makeup ever on ourselves? Ever? Have we ever even applied mascara in our lives? I'm going to try and remove that. I can just kind of blend it out a little. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. It kind of blends into it. I have some little freckles here. I don't know if you can see, so it kind of actually blends into that. So that's not bad. Okay. I will say this mascara is kind of hard for me to make show up on camera. It's great in person, but it's kind of tricky. Actually, it's not too bad. When I get closer, it's not too bad. This is how you know we're doing mascara. We get really quiet and focused. That we just... I feel like everybody has like a mascara face that I'm trying to tone down because I'm being filmed. But does anyone else like put mascara on with their mouth open or like stick their nose up like that? Because I so totally do. So if you do, you're not alone. I do it too. Even the YouTubers do it. I'm gonna have to like cut out half of this mascara putting on content because I swear it's taking so long. I just really like my eyelashes to look very spread out. I feel like the left one, anyone else feel like this? They have like a lash good side. I feel like it's my left lashes. I'm gonna try to kind of build up the right lashes a little bit, which this is something I do with my daily makeup too, is to kind of build up my right lashes to match my left ones. I'm not really sure why. See, and then I feel like I overdid it, and now the right ones overpower the left. Ugh. The life of makeup. It's so hard. I'm just kidding. There are way harder things in this life than putting on mascara. Okay, there we go. I think I finally reached the even point. And then I don't like to do lower lash line. I feel like it makes my eyes look too spidery, and I just don't love that. That's just not for me. Okay, now for our lips, I don't currently have a lip liner. Again, so I'm honestly taking suggestions. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys have any suggestions of like your favorite summer products. Now this is definitely going to be for more of like a glam look, since I am being filmed and it's fun. But honestly, for my everyday, I just use this Baby Lips Coral Lip Balm on my everyday, which is great. But since we're dressing it up a little bit, I'm going to use the Revlon Cream Lipstick in the shade Candied Rose. I feel like this gives a really good, like, it gives that rosy quality that I like in a lipstick. I don't like to put on too much. I don't want it to be, like, getting everywhere, you know? I mean, it's still kind of going to get everywhere, but I almost feel like this is a very, like, 1940s pink, which I know sounds so silly because when you think about the 1940s and 1950s makeup, lipstick in particular, you're probably thinking of like a red, which, I mean, there's a reason for that. History nerd coming out. I love makeup history and fashion history, but red lipstick was worn during World War II to basically like promote victory, and it was like a sign of victory, and the female Marines were actually required to wear it. It was part of their uniform because Hitler thought that, I might be wrong, but Hitler thought that red lipstick was vulgar, and so the American female Marines would wear red lipstick to be kind of sticking it to Hitler, which I'm like, that's awesome. Using makeup to rebel, totally. That's, I mean, rebel the wrong things, of course. You know, I'm totally about that. I am going to do a gloss, although leaving it like this would be totally pretty too. But I am going to add the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. I've been using a lot of Maybelline products. I like Maybelline products. I feel like Maybelline and CoverGirl are just, and e.l.f. Those are kind of my favorites. That's kind of where I like to live a little bit. But yeah, the Maybelline Lifter Gloss, what shade is this? Opal. I am almost out of this, but it makes a good topper shade. Honestly, it's pretty on its own too, but because it's kind of a very light pink, almost clear shimmery gloss. I like to use it to top my lipsticks. Ooh, and that's adding a really pretty shine. That's so pretty. I do kind of feel like, because this is the lip color I wore during the spring, so I kind of feel like I maybe want to, I don't know, maybe change it up for the summer. I don't know. Darn it, so that means I have to go makeup shopping again. Oh no, so sad. I'm just kidding, it's not sad. There we go. I just wanted to keep it kind of in the middle because I like that highlight pop effect that it gives. We're going to forget setting spray today. Mainly because I need to find a new one. Preferably one. I want to try one that has SPF in it because then I feel like it'll, I don't know, I can reapply my sunscreen throughout the day while still protecting my makeup. So I'm going to have to look for one. But this is basically, this is the completed look. It definitely does still lean a little bit spring. But I think it's pretty. If you're wanting a rosy tone for the summer, this is really good because it's very light foundation. And so I feel like this is a really good, shimmery, rosy, yet still everyday and a little glam, I guess. Everyday glam, summer look. And so if that's what you're looking for, then this is great for you. I do want to try a bronze one. Maybe I'll try a bronzy one next. That'll be fun. We can definitely try that. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Bye.